Do you ever feel like you're multitasking like a pro, but for some reason never actually get much done? You are not alone. According to a research study by Zippia in 2023, the average office worker in the US gets interrupted around 11 times per hour, or roughly every 6 minutes. These distractions cost businesses in the US around $588 billion every year, according to research. So if you're like most people thinking you have mastered the art of multitasking to make you more productive, science has proven the opposite. According to Science Direct, multitasking can result in situational ADD, attention deficit disorder, on a clinical level where you can actually show decreased productivity, disorganization, and irritability. So what can you do to be more productive? Before I dive in, and if you're new here, my name is Belle. In this video, I will tell you why I don't believe in multitasking after trying and failing for many years, and how it actually hurt your productivity based on neuroscience. I will also share simple but effective time management tips that can help you get more done. And lastly, I will reveal the one thing you can do that makes multitasking possible and beneficial to your productivity. Let's start with the science and explore why multitasking hurts your productivity by slowing you down. Numerous scientific studies on multitasking in the past few decades have discovered that humans inflate our perceived ability to multitask because our brains are actually not designed to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. Well, at least not efficiently. When you attempt to do several things at the same time that require high-level brain function, such as writing a proposal while you're taking care of the kids at home, you might think you're efficiently multitasking, but in reality, you're just rapidly switching between report writing and parenting. Your brain is still performing just one task at a time. Back then, with my corporate job, I used to think I was a master multitasker until I realized I was just spinning my wheels and not making real progress. If you have watched my other video on work-life balance here, it has been proven that multitasking can reduce your productivity by as much as 40%. When you change from one task to another, your brain switches mental gears, and there are two downsides to this gear switching. Number one, it will take longer for you to complete the original task because every time you move away from your task, your brain needs time to refocus. Number two, it can also increase your probability of making errors, especially if you're multitasking under time pressure. This phenomenon is known as the switch cost, which is something you want to minimize because of three reasons. First, although some switch costs can be relatively small, sometimes taking just 1 to 2 seconds per switch can compound to a huge amount of time if you switch repeatedly back and forth. Have you ever tried working on a presentation while scrolling on your phone or just chatting with your colleague next to you? According to a study, an average employee in the US loses around 3 hours per day due to workplace distractions alone. The second reason why you want to minimize switch costs is because it can affect your safety. For example, when you drive and talk on the phone at the same time, you feel like you're doing fine. You are not. Scientific studies show that your brain actually cannot keep up. According to Dr. David Strayer, who has been studying distracted drivers for over 10 years, talking on the phone, whether it's hands-free or handheld while you're driving, causes you to miss as much as half the things in front of you and increases your risk of an accident 4 times, the same as someone who is drunk at a 0.8 blood alcohol level. If you're text messaging while you're driving, the crash risk goes up 8 times. This is because driving and talking on the phone use the same set of high-level cognitive resources in your brain. When you drive, you are using visual resources and creating mental images of how to get to your destination. And when you're talking on the phone, you are also creating mental images in your head. Your brain's resources get overloaded because the two tasks compete with each other, which results in a situational attention deficit disorder on a clinical level. Even losing just half a second switching between driving and talking on the phone could mean a life or death difference for you and for those in your car. The third reason why you don't want to multitask is that switching between simple tasks such as processing continuous information through your smartphone and tablet is associated with stress due to the different kinds of information you're intaking at the same time. According to Dr. Daniel Levitin, a neuroscientist, these endless distractions from online communication and media result in cognitive overload, which can increase the production of the stress hormone cortisol and also the fight-or-flight hormone adrenaline. If this multitasking multitasking is overdone to the point of brain fatigue. It can lead to a state where you either end up making really bad decisions or feeling completely exhausted. Now, since multitasking has been scientifically proven to slow you down, what can you do about it? There are many time management techniques out there to help you monotask so you can do more and be more productive. I have shared some simple tips that I personally find effective over the years, which are covered in this video here, the 7 rules to a better work-life balance. But since everyone is different, what works for me might not work for you. I will share with you 5 more tried and tested techniques so you can try them out and see which one works best. Eat the frog. This time management technique is about tackling the most difficult task first thing in the morning. The idea is to focus on getting the toughest work out of the way, just like eating a frog, and you then be more motivated to handle the easier tasks throughout the day. The hardest part of this method is getting over that emotional hurdle because it can be quite daunting to handle the most difficult task first thing in the morning, but you will be glad you did it. So for me, this is why I push myself to hit the gym in the morning if I can. Not only to get it over with, but also because of the positive spillover side effects. The 2-minute rule. This strategy is opposite to eat the frog, and it is excellent for working parents or for those of you who have never-ending small tasks that just keep piling up. If a task can be done in under 2 minutes, do it now. It is a lighter way to start the day and makes you feel good about having little achievements first thing in the morning. I will use this 2-minute rule and complete a series of small tasks to help me build momentum and put me in the work zone. The next 3 techniques that I'm going to share with you are quite structured. If that is exactly what you need, you might find these techniques helpful. The third method is the Pomodoro technique. This method is excellent if you're one of those people who get easily distracted, and for those of you who cannot sit still. Set a timer for 25 minutes and stick to one task until the timer sets off. Take a break before you start the next Pomodoro. Repeat as needed until you finish your tasks for the day. The reason why this technique works for some people is because having your full attention on one task can be mentally overwhelming. This is why you need short breaks for your brain to digest the information and rest before the next round. The Pomodoro technique can be especially useful for people with attention span challenges because it is very structured and provides a clear measurement of time, and it also rewards you for your progress after each 25 minutes. The fourth technique is the 3-3-3 method. This time management method works well for organized people who appreciate a daily review of their accomplishment. It is done by spending 3 minutes planning your task first thing in the morning, doing a 3-minute review every hour, and using 3 minutes to reflect your achievements at the end of the day. This 3-3-3 method is similar to planning and tracking your annual goals, except you do it daily. The Eisenhower matrix. Most of you have heard of this method, and it is a great way to prioritize your day by dividing your tasks into 4 categories: the urgent and most important, the important but not urgent, the urgent but not important, the not urgent and not important. Do the tasks that fall under urgent and important, schedule the tasks under important but not urgent, delegate the tasks that are urgent but not important, and delete the tasks that are not urgent and not important. The challenge is you need to spend a bit of time doing the categorization first thing in the morning, which is, to be honest, too much for me, but it might work for you. Now that we've covered some of the more popular, tried and tested time management techniques, you might wonder if there are exceptions where our brain can multitask under specific conditions. The answer is yes, and you guessed it. That exception is music, specifically background music. Have you noticed how you're more motivated to keep exercising when you're playing upbeat music in the background? This is because the 2 activities, exercising and listening to music, use a different set of resources in the brain. Exercise is about repetitive physical movements, while music is auditory. This means while you're running on the treadmill on muscle memory, your brain can still have a lot of room processing whatever you are listening to and create mental visuals of that podcast from the New York Times. This is also why some people can effectively strategize for their business or think through problems when they're exercising. The same applies when you're listening to instrumental music while working on a presentation, because these activities do not compete for the same cognitive resources in your brain. That said, research over the past decade has not been conclusive about specific conditions under which background music can improve productivity. The reason is there are too many variables. Experimental studies have shown mixed results between background music and productivity depending on the task you're working on, the type of music you're listening to, and your individual characteristics such as your age, whether you're an introvert or extrovert, your musical training, and even your music preferences. These variables and individual differences create a complex pattern of results. For example, some studies have shown that classical background music has been found to improve the speed of reading and have positive effects on memory tasks such as vocabulary learning, second language learning, word recall, and word recognition. On the contrary, vocal background music is usually reported to negatively affect memory performance more than instrumental background music, especially if the lyrics are in a familiar language, because your brain naturally wants to make sense of the lyrics, and so it switches mental gears from the book you're reading to the lyrics. I tend to get distracted if I put on background pop music while I work because I either want to sing along or the song would evoke memories that force me to create mental visuals in my brain, which means I can no longer focus on my book. But interestingly, my kids swear that by playing background pop music when they're studying can help them concentrate significantly better. So next time when you need to tackle brain work that requires the same set of cognitive resources from your brain, such as doing that proposal while intermittently checking your social media, how about putting down your phone and playing some instrumental music in the background instead to improve your reading efficiency? The secret to productivity isn't about doing more, but focusing on less and maybe with the help of music. That said, there's another productivity killer that cannot be ignored. If you're a perfectionist and wonder why you just cannot get things done without getting stressed out, check out this video where I will walk you through the 7 tips to let go of being perfect.